My name is Richard Cassiano. My company is North American Resource Capital. I'm located in Smithtown, but I do business all over the area. After working in the industry for, financing small businesses for over 10 years, I went out with two partners and we formed North American so that we could expand our services to clients. Those two starting partners have long since gone, and I've been running the company solely for the last 18 years. The main service that I offer is helping small businesses solve their financial problems. So they come to me where, I need money for this, I want to do that, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, and they often have been declined by their bank, which is the first place they typically go to, or been recommended to another bank or two. And they don't realize that lots of times there are alternatives to their bank and just banks in general. So there's a lot of financing products that are out there for equipment financing, separate from the banks, receivable financing, mortgages through mortgage companies that are not banks, SBA loans. I do a lot of work with those that encompass a multitude of services and help clients with many needs. The fact that there are a multitude of products to help clients with, so being able to offer them, because a lot of clients are like, oh, I never heard of that lender before, or I didn't even know that product existed, and you get to teach them about it and how it can help them out. My clients inspire me because every client, to an extent, is a challenge. They all have unique needs and desires, some of them. So they're my biggest inspiration because it's like a puzzle and to finance what they're looking for. So it's not just, fill out an application, you get this loan, fill out an application, you get that financing. So there's lots of pieces. Sometimes we have to help people get their credit straight. Sometimes we have to get them to increase their bottom line, which a lot of small businesses like to limit because they pay less taxes when they show less profit. However, it works the opposite way when you're trying to get financing. You want to show more profit. So depending upon their time frame to do what they need to do, it's a puzzle that has to often be, solved first before you can get to the financing. My clients again motivate me to help them. It's very gratifying to help them see, lots of clients that I deal with are smaller businesses, even though I do larger loans too, but they all are deals that are what we like to say outside of the box, or I like to say sometimes outside of the bank. And sometimes it is a bankable deal, but they've just been to the wrong bank. So it's inspiring to be able to find the right solution for their problems and to see them succeed, either opening a business, buying a business, or expanding the existing business that they have. I became a chamber member because I had lunch with Joe Mataloni when he was on the committee, but because I like to network with different businesses and learn about them and see because there are so many different businesses that I'm learning about all the time. There's always something new out there to learn about and to see, and there are services of people in the chamber that I'm able to utilize. There's people in the chamber I'm able to recommend other businesses to. There are some people that I'm able to hook up together. It's like, hey, there's a person new joined the chamber, you should talk to so-and-so. And I've been able to, it's gratifying to be able to give leads to other businesses, and it almost always, comes back. Quite honestly, the pivoting that I had to do was not dramatic. People always need money, and they needed money more so during COVID. So initially, I had requests from clients that were applying for SBA money, and they weren't getting it fast enough because it wasn't happening fast enough, and I was able to get them lines of credit for their businesses so that they would continue to operate and had the money that they needed to keep their doors open until they got their SBA money. And then I was able to help clients that needed the payroll protection plan, so I help clients get PPP loans. Otherwise, it's keeping up with the new requirements from the lenders, because they are all continuously asking about how clients made out recently, proving it through bank statements, and depending upon their business, how they have changed their business to survive so that they can, continue to exist and be able to pay their debts back that they might be borrowing. Okay, that's quite varied because it depends on the businesses, but in general, you should always have your financial house in order in advance. I work with a lot of startup businesses over the years, 25 years now, with just my company, and a lot of them start out with a business plan that they get help with, and a business plan is supposed to be a plan that's a living document, not just to get the loan and then close the door. And that's unfortunately what a lot of companies do. They use their business plan to get their loan, and then after they have the money, they just kind of like go by the seat of their pants. They really need to have a group of advisors, even for small companies. So they need to engage, and there are sometimes different accountants or attorneys, just other advisors in the industry that they should hook up. There's some professional organizations that act as a board of directors for small companies where you only have like one owner and or one director of the company. So that's helpful. If you are eligible if you're in financially good shape and your business and you don't have a line of credit, I encourage people to get one for whatever amount they are eligible for, even if they don't need it now, because if, let's say, those businesses that came to me for a line of credit already had theirs, they wouldn't have needed to scramble at the last minute. But 6 months into COVID, the lenders are asking, what have you done for this last 6 months? So they're not going to get a line of credit because their business has gone down or it's been closed. So preparation, you need to prepare in advance. That's definitely big, because nobody saw this coming, and it's like having a line of credit is a fallback, where it's like insurance. Helps people, it's a necessary evil. You pay for insurance for decades and you never sometimes ever have a claim or use it. But if you didn't have it, what would happen? You could lose all your money. You could lose, depending upon whether it's car, home, what, there's a lot you could lose. So it's not worth it. Oh my goodness, my favorite part about my job is learning about new businesses that I've never encountered before. Last year I closed a business for a woman in Greenlawn, lives in Greenlawn, but the business is in West Babylon, and she's worked for the business for a number of years, and they're in silicone and epoxy. I've heard about that, what it is, but most of the silicone that they use is for prosthetic. For limbs and whatnot. Wow. That companies use. So they have the raw material, they don't make the prosthetic, but they sell to prosthetic companies. So the most interesting part about is finding new business. I mean, I'm an avid equestrian, and every once in a while over the years have worked with someone in the equestrian industry. Going back probably 20 years, I financed a dude ranch upstate New York, so that was a lot of fun.
I went there when I was a kid.
I worked with a dressage trainer out in Southold a couple of years ago, trying to help her. I worked with another facility in West Hempstead that built this huge facility, the hugest in Nassau County, another equestrian center. So it's interesting, to learn, and then there's just some things that you learn that are like you just never knew before, and you just took them for granted, and then you find out the intricacies about how certain industries work and how certain products are made and how certain business dealings happen. With sometimes it seems like something that looks so simple. There's a lot behind it to get it to the finished product and where it comes from. The Huntington Chamber's been terrific. I've been a member, I think, about 5 years now. I truly miss the after hours, but the after hours networking events and some of the breakfasts and even some of the rooms, new member meetings I've been to have all been beneficial. It's always nice meeting new faces, some of them that have been in the chamber a while that you just don't see, and the chamber has been good to me as far as referrals. And like I said, I've enjoyed giving referrals also to people in the chamber.